Liza, this is Liza's part-time job this summer.
Yeah.
This is her
Putting up walls.
fifth class?
It's my fifth class.
It's her fifth class, and she just does it
I love it.
for the fun of it. Well, hi, it is days later. I think the last time I checked in was 3 days ago. I was supposed to come back the next day and I just didn't. So I'm back in my classroom. Today, my focus is going to be to work in this area here. I'm only gonna be here for a couple of hours, so I'm not gonna be here for that long. But I need to start cleaning out and organizing this stuff. So this is all my stuff just shoved in the corner. And now I need to get it unshoved out of that corner and start putting things where I think they belong. So my plan is going to be to try and move or push some of these bigger items over here. And I say push because looking at some of it, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. So that I can get to the smaller things. My intention is to get to the smaller things and start moving those into the drawers in there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've been dreading this, but I need to get started. So here I go. About an hour later. A part of me feels like all I did for the past hour was move stuff from one side of a room to another, but there is some rhyme and reason to what I just did. So here's the area that I was working in. So you can see stuff has been moved around. What I tried to do is like put stuff in zones. So everything that you see all the way here is either stuff that goes in my desk area, so whether it be on bookshelves behind me, inside of my desk, just personal things that I don't like to have out on display because they're teaching resources or decorations or something of that sort. Some of those boxes have books for the classroom library, so it also includes things that I can't really put where I need them to be right now because the classroom is going to be kind of in process because they're going to be shampooing carpets and things like that. So, I mean, it is cleared this little area where I couldn't walk in before. And I think just from what I can see, like these are my cubbies here and here. Now, I don't love the fact right now that these are all different sizes. I think that's my OCD issue, but it's not a huge deal. And it's actually probably going to work to my benefit eventually to have cubbies of different sizes. So that's what's on this side. Over here is stuff that I know I intend to keep in this pod area because I don't use it often. I don't need it. I don't foresee using it in the near future, or I can't move it. So like these will obviously be put in the classroom, but again, I'm not going to put those in the classroom until like everything's put away, the carpet has been shampooed, etc. So a lot of this stuff is like math stuff that I won't be using. I'm going to hold on to it because my teammate may be able to use them. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't necessarily want to just toss those away. There's also books back here that I like to have access to, but I don't necessarily use them. So a lot of my 5th grade books on Revolutionary War is back here, but I might be pulling those out maybe in some way, shape, or form since I do teach American history again, although way past the Civil War. I mean, the Revolutionary War, sorry. So I feel like I've accomplished something, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't. And then in the classroom, the stuff that I moved in here are the things that I know I'll be putting in these drawers and cabinets. So everything on the counter is stuff that I intend to store in either these cabinets down here or these drawers. Again, I think I have way more storage space than what I need. I don't have a ton of stuff, at least I don't think that I do. So I think I'm actually going to leave because I've been here for about an hour and a half. There were some issues with the alarm and all of that. And I need to pick up Genesis because she's at the vet. And I kind of think maybe tomorrow I'll come in and bring like some wipes or something just in case. Ooh, just in case some of these cabinets, there's things in here, just in case some of these cabinets and drawers need to be wiped out. Because I'm not going to be here long enough to finish a project. And I know how I get. If I start something, I'm going to want to finish it. And I'm sure not going to be here when the sun goes down trying to do that. So that is that. And I think the fact that I got some of the stuff that I've gotten done is good, because I just peeked into my partner's room because I wanted to know if she had paper on the wall or fabric. It looks like she has fabric, but I could see that the cleaning crew or whoever's in charge of shampooing the carpet and waxing the floor, they seem to have started, and they might be starting in our room soon because they left their equipment in there. So there's that. And then the other, or the one thing that I do want to say I'm a little concerned about, I just emailed the principal, is in this pod we share space. So I share space with my partner teacher. Across from me is childcare, and I think the other room is counseling. And childcare right now is taking up a lot of valuable real estate in this pod. So they have right now a total of these 2 brown cabinets, or actually there's this refrigerator and then there's this locker cabinet here. And I don't know who that belongs to, but I just emailed my principal to see if there's a way to ask the childcare people to move at least one of those brown cabinets in their classroom. I peeked my head in there, they have space, because I don't want this brown cabinet in my classroom. I would like to have as much space in here as possible, especially with large 8th grade bodies. And I can't put that in there because childcare has an extra cabinet in there that's kind of taking up my space. So I emailed him. I think I was nice about it. So that's all I'm gonna do today. But before I go, I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I bought for the classroom, since this is a classroom setup video. And when I get home, I will also show you some other things, something else that I think came in the mail today that I'm kind of excited about. So when I went to CM to see if they had the border I needed, I found these magnetic border strips. So I'm going to use these to divvy up the board. I could use washi tape or duct tape like people do. I just don't have the ability to do that straight enough for me not to be obsessed about trying to make it straight and staring at it and going crazy knowing that it's not straight. So I figured this was a better option. They had some thinner versions of this, but I got the thicker version. So I bought 3 packs of this. Not sure if it's going to be enough. It is a total of 12 feet. And how much was this a pack? I mean, this was one of those things where I was like, really, LaTanya? They were $7 a pack. So I'm hoping that's enough. Then I also bought these for the date. Again, sometimes I get really annoyed that my writing isn't perfect on the board. So this is one thing that I don't have to write, which will be the date. So I bought those. And then I bought these because I figured maybe I can use these for like homework or something like that. I don't know. If I end up not using them or not knowing how I'm going to use them, I will obviously take them back. But that is it. I also feel like one of those teachers that I, on a low-key level, criticized, because I have just realized I've accumulated quite a few baskets and bins over the years. So I have these yellow bins that I used in my classroom last year. I'll probably hold on to those. But I have all those red bins from when my classroom colors were red, black, and white. And then I have, if you guys see them over there, I have gray bins over here that I will be using to go in the drawer. But I can tell you this, I'm done with bins. I'm not buying not another bin for a very, very long time. So, anywho, I'm gonna get out of here. I am going to go home. When I get settled, I'll show you the item that I think came in the mail today. If I don't show it to you, it means it didn't come. And again, apologies for my hair. I really, I just threw this up. This is not a style. This is not me thinking that I'm doing something. This is me not wanting any hair swinging around while I was moving boxes. So, talk to you soon. So I've gotten back into my room. Liza has the ladder. We're all calmed down. The good news is that they've cleaned the floor. So I'm going to show you this floor area because it was pretty filthy. So they've stripped and waxed this floor area. This is looking much better. I believe, well, I believe they shampooed the carpet. The carpet is so old that one really can't be sure, but I'm just going to assume that they did because I know that's what they were walking around doing. The other good piece of news is that I did get a monitor and I did need a monitor and a keyboard because I didn't have that, so that's been put in. But let's take a look at this here. This little spot here. When they stripped the floor, they got some of that on the wall. So now the question is, am I going to leave that there looking like that, or am I going to patch it up? And I don't have an answer yet because a part of me feels like I need to leave it because the patch is going to be more obvious than that. But then the other part of me says I'm going to be distracted by that little spot all school year. I'll be literally teaching and just staring at that spot. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go show you. I'm going to go across the way to see if Liza wants to say hello.
Time to be on a vlog.
There's Liza.
Hi guys.
That's my new friend Taylor.
Hi.
This is Taylor's first official year teaching, and this is as far as she's gotten in her class. This is when you're sad, when it's just the one wall. Yeah. She's doing shiplap.
And we ran out of paper.
I have some more gray paper. I don't know how much.
I'll probably need a lot of gray though.
They ran out of shiplap. So yeah. Liza, this is Liza's part-time job this summer.
Yeah.
This is her
putting up walls.
5th class?
It's my 5th class.
It's her 5th class, and she just does it.
I love it.
For the fun of it.
Straight and life fashion. I love some staple gun action.
So I'm gonna go back to my room.
Did you show them the wall?
I did.
Yeah, that's the wall.
I showed the wall, the little splatter.
Yes.
I'm just gonna ignore it for a few more minutes. A little bit of progress. I have been working for the most part for the past, let's see here, hour and 50 minutes. Liza and Taylor are still across the way working on her room. I've just been focusing on unpacking these boxes here. So that one still has stuff in it because I need to figure out where that's going. That one's empty. The stuff on the counter is cleared, although we just discovered this issue. One of my boxes somehow adhered itself to the countertop, so I got to figure out how to clean that off. But this is what my drawers are looking like so far. So this top drawer is just, I don't know, like school supplies, pencils, erasers, pens, highlighters, what do you call these, Sharpie markers. That's the first drawer so far. The second drawer, I intend to put colored paper here. I have a bunch of colored paper at home that I bought from Michael's to work on something not too long ago to make the all are welcome signs that I put on Instagram a while ago. This is just a container of colored post-it notes that goes with a Teachers Pay Teachers product that I've used with reading chapter books that maybe I'll talk about again someday. This drawer down here is just, I don't know what I would call this, but it's things like my hot glue gun, tools or materials that I need to put things together or something along those lines. So that has like my hot glue gun, one of my staple guns, some sticky tack, magnets. This is just clips. These are like extra decorative clips that I use in my classroom. Fran, if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, the room mom that helped me with some of the decorative pieces for my old classroom, just agreed to make me some more of these. Other clothespins, different kinds of tape that I have. This bin has things like binders, push pins, T-pins, paper clips, things like that. And then here's just the sandwich bag collection that I have. I'm gonna leave this clear because what I don't have, which always bothered me last year that I didn't have like an ample supply of, is gallon size bags, because you just don't realize that there are quite a few times where you wish you just had a gallon size bag, and I would never have them. So I would always have to grab one from Jenny or Peggy last year, and I always felt bad, so I need to buy some of those. And so now I have these drawers here. Oh, here's some more sandwich bags down there. not sure what's going in these drawers yet. So I'll get back to you there. And then over here, I still have this little bit that I need to organize. I need to look in here and see what's here. Looks like it's a lot of stuff that was in a storage cabinet. So there's like baby wipes and things like that down in there. Oh, and then I have these two boxes. This box has what? What is this stuff? Oh, yeah, these are all things that I think will go in the pod because I won't be using them that often. And I'm not even sure. I think that is file folders for a file cabinet that I have. So I've made progress. I still feel like I have a long way to go because there's a whole nother mess in the pod. But I think what I can now do is pull some of the stuff out of the pod into here because they're all decorative items that I kept in there because the carpet was going to be shampooed. But in a minute, I'm going to have to take a break because I almost forgot that I have like a conference call kind of thing that I have to take at 1 o'clock, and I almost forgot about it. So that's where I'm at so far. A little bit of progress, but still a long way to go. Here's an update. I've taken care of one side of the pod, so everything that was over here that can be moved is moved. These are books that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. I'm not going to roll out the whiteboard or the chair yet until like I'm at a place where I'm moving furniture around. So what I have, and this is kind of frustrating now that I look at it, is this area here. Now, the previous tenants of this space wanted those larger spaced cubbies, so then they shoved all these cubby shelves there, which I will probably just have to leave there because I don't feel like tinkering around with those. But now I need to work on this side of the pod. So this is all stuff that I'm pretty sure will probably be staying in here. It's not stuff that I use on a regular basis or a daily basis. There are some bigger pieces of furniture that will be moved into the classroom like down the line, but just not right now. And so what was in the pod that I needed to move was this stuff here. So I just tried to put things in different zones. So these are just all the pom-poms that I had in my last classroom. I'm hoping to be able to reuse some of them, but I do think I'll probably have to order some more because the gray ones are pretty faded and the white ones can get pretty dusty. The plants that I had in the library, books here, and then these things in this area are all stuff that was in my desk, around my desk, stuff that I need reference to, like teas, things like that. And then I also put decorative pieces in the areas that I think I'm going to hang them in, knowing that I might change my mind. So like I think this sign will be over in this corner somewhere, as well as the items in this box from my last classroom. So yes, that is where I'm at. I'm getting ready to go back in that pod and work on the other side. This is kind of like the most frustrating part of setting up a classroom because I feel like I'm just shifting stuff from one spot to another. And I know in the end, like I am actually being productive and getting things done, but in the process, it feels like you're just running around in circles and just shifting piles from one place to the next. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm gonna figure out how to organize it. I have these cabinets. I don't think I showed you that, but on this side, let me make sure I don't trip here. My foot is stuck. There it is. On this side, I'm assuming I have these cabinets here because the name that's on them, that teacher no longer teaches here. So that, and this is my stuff too. So that's what is going to happen with all these things here, with the exception of these pieces of furniture like the bench and the mailboxes and all of that. So let me go ahead and get started on that. Fun times. Oh, I am done for the day. It is 2:35 to be exact. My timer says that today I have been working for about 3 hours and 39 minutes. I decided today that my focus was just going to be to get the stuff that was in boxes up on this counter sorted out and put away, and for the most part I've done that. The only thing that's left on the counter now are these things here, but I already have either an idea of where I need to put those, and I just don't have the the item to put them in yet. Like I need to buy a crate to put those whiteboards in, because one of the things I'm going to have to adjust to in middle school is the fact that they don't have desk. So there is no little pocket for them to put their things in. So I normally, when I taught elementary school, had every student keep a whiteboard inside their desk. That's just not going to be the case. So those are going to have to be stored somewhere else. So I'm going to show you the drawers one last time, because I think maybe I changed a couple of parts. I don't know. But again, here's the top drawer: pencils, erasers, pens, highlighters. I feel like I'm well stocked with that. What I don't need is any more erasers or any more Ticonderoga pencils. I'm not even sure if middle schoolers will even dare to use a pencil that's not a lead pencil. This is going to be my paper drawer. This is cardstock here. I have paper at home that I'm going to be putting in there that I bought from Michael's. This is Astrobites paper, the colored Post-it notes. This is the drawer that I think I added some things to, so I ended up realizing I did have some gallon-sized bags, so I put them there. These are some brown paper bags that I had that come in handy every once in a while. Back here are baby wipes, Q-tips. This is just another box of sandwich bags. And then these are my field trip packs that I made a couple years ago. I stole this idea. I think when I first saw it, it was on Bridget's channel, The Lettered Classroom. So I just give those out to parent volunteers when I have a field trip. So I stuck those in there. The bottom drawer is just kind of like art supplies and construction paper. That didn't really change. Down in this bottom drawer, what I ended up doing is, this is a watercolor set that I have. This is like my Kagan bin. So anything that is like a Kagan product, I put in here. These little chips that you use for classroom discussions, all that's in there. And then this is kind of in the same vein. There's just bean bags in there, dice, things that I might use if I'm doing some sort of cooperative learning situation is all down there. And I don't think there's nothing else in these drawers for right now, at least. I also want to show you this because I put this on Instagram today and a lot of people have been asking me where I got this keychain. This is from Amazon. I will try and link that in the description box if I can remember. And then I just found this at Charming Charlie about a month or so ago. So that's where that came from. Over here, I'm putting Kleenexes. That's another container of baby wipes that I couldn't fit in the drawer. The disinfecting wipes that I bought today. I feel like I need to get a first aid kit. Those are just a stack of Band-Aids. Over here are a couple board games that I have. I'll put my privacy folders down there. And that is it. I did spend some time on that conference call. I'm working with the company that's trying to develop better writing curriculum, to put in a nutshell. So that was about 30 minutes of the 3 hours and 38 minutes. So technically I've only been working in my classroom for 3 hours. Tomorrow, if I come back, will be, and if it's not tomorrow, the next day that I come back, but it will probably be tomorrow because it's kind of crunch time, is I'm going to be working in the pod to get that little situation situated. I did put in a work order. I don't know if I said this earlier, for this brown cabinet that's in my classroom to be moved into this pod. But in order for that to happen, one of these needs to move because childcare is kind of monopolizing this space right now. And I need at least the space to put my one brown cabinet there because I refuse to have that in my classroom because it's just taking up space. But I have all of this to deal with tomorrow. I think it looks worse than what it is because a lot of this is going to be moved into the classroom because it's stuff that is decorative or needs to go into my desk. And then there's this stuff here. So that's the sitch in my new classroom. G4, I think is what it is. So I am going to either go to Target right now to get this bin for these whiteboards and clipboards. I might stop at the Dollar Tree to see if they have some inexpensive bins to put these random things in, like these extra Post-it notes and expo markers. And if I do that, then I'm just gonna go home and rest for a bit, charge my phone because it's dying, and then probably work on something else that is school related or edit some video. I don't know. So 3 hours I've been working today because there's been such a big gap in when I've been in here If I don't include the amount of time, well, you know what? Never mind. I just have to figure some things out. But today I've been working for 3 hours. So that's it for today. I will talk to you tomorrow. It's another day. It doesn't look like it, but it is. I am wearing the same shirt because that's what I do in the summer. Today, my goal is to work on the stuff that's in the pod and get that organized. So let me just remind you of what that was. I'm really having a hard time understanding how to turn the lights on and off here. There we go. So all this stuff in here, don't mind that, needs to come out of here and be put in there in some orderly fashion. I talked to my brother yesterday and asked him if he would be willing to come in this weekend to put my desk together, the one that I bought from Target. He can't do it this weekend, but he's gonna do it next weekend because some of that stuff in there can't be put away until like my desk is put together. I did end up buying these bins. Well, some of these I already had, and I don't think I showed these to you, but then after I left here yesterday, I went to Target to get a bin for the clipboards that I showed you guys yesterday. So they are here now. These bins are from reallygoodstuff.com. They're the same bins that are in this drawer here. And I got these a couple years ago, but I always knew that I wanted to get another set because I didn't have enough. So I bought another box of those over the summer. I think they come in like a pack of 12. I don't remember how much they are, but I will try my best to remember to link them in the description box. And then I got this. Let me move this out of the way. Be careful not to break a nail. Okay. Then I got this like milk crate from Target for the clipboards. And then I just got a couple of these for, my thought is to put the dry erase markers that I have in there. So I have all these dry erase markers here that I need to put somewhere in an organized manner. So my thought is I can put them in there and fit them in the space back there. So that's what's on my agenda. As far as what I've done today, I went to an 8:45 Orange Theory class. Came home, showered, ate some breakfast, cleaned up after Genesis because she thought it was her best choice to have a little vomit situation, so he took care of that, and then I came here. So I'm gonna get started. I've been listening to Teach Like Finland while I've been working, just to kind of go along with the trip that I just got back from about a week or so ago. So that's what I've been listening to keep me company, but it is time for me to get to work. I'll check in when I've made some progress. So I'll see you then. Progress over here. I've shifted some things around. I threw a lot of stuff away that was no longer going to be useful to me. So now this space over here is looking a little bit more clear. I need to now go down here and just find a way to organize and store these empty bins. Like a lot of them are just empty. I'm not going to get rid of them because they tend to come in handy every now and then. But right now these bins have all my like holiday decorations or decorative things that I don't use on a daily basis. So, I mean, I'm making progress. There's a very clear path. It's not as cluttered as it was yesterday. It is now 2:15-ish. So I don't think I'll be here that much longer, which is good because I'm actually pretty sleepy. I need to take a nap today. I am done for the day. Here is the final state of the pod. So here's the side that I worked on first. This is all stuff that needs to go in that brown cabinet. Again, these are books that I need to put away once I decide how I'm going to set things up in terms of a classroom library. I'm just storing all the extra bins that I have up there. I wiped all those out, cleaned them out, stacked them up in number order because life is all about number order. I don't have anything in these cubbies yet, but I'll probably put things like supplies in here. Those are old, not old, but those are extra weekly folders that I had left over from last year. This is the other side. So obviously the pieces of furniture have to stay there for the time being. I'm going to give those 2 books to Taylor if she wants them, since she will be teaching math and science. And then the counter has been completely cleared. That's mine. It collapsed in a move. So I need to see if I or my brother can put it back together. It's that IKEA shelving unit. This actually belongs to the school district and it was accidentally packed up. That's a science kit. But this is what the cabinet ended up looking like here. The only problem is that these books are books that I had in my old classroom, but that were stored in the pod because they either weren't relevant to the things that I was teaching, or they were old, or they just weren't used as frequently as the other books that I chose to keep out. But they were still separated by month. So if you've been following me for a while, these were the picture book covers for my old classroom that was red, black, and white, and gray. And so I still had them organized in the pod related to the month that I had used them in the past. But in the move, they've all gotten shifted around and mixed up. So I'm saving the month markers because what I think I'm going to have to do is every month, I'm just going to have to come back here and just look through each of these and pull them out and organize them correctly, if that makes sense, because now some of these books may actually get used because I have a big section of books that was on like the Revolutionary War, American history. That's going to be more relevant now that I'm teaching 8th grade social studies. So that's what is there. Up there are just professional books that I've had from classes, trainings, whatever. I think I showed you down here. These are just extra bins that are empty for the most part, except for those 2 big ones down there. And then the same thing in this cabinet, just holiday decorations, stuff like that. I don't think anything is really in this cabinet. No. So I still have that cabinet if I need it. And I think that's it. I think that's all the storage I have. No, I actually also have, yeah, these cabinets if I needed them. I would be surprised if I needed them because most of my stuff is kind of put away. But I am going home now because I am hungry. I need to rest my legs. I feel like I've been working out for hours. I stopped the timer and I believe it was at about 3 hours and 30 minutes for today. So yeah, I'm gonna go next door to Taylor, say goodbye, see if she wants these books, and then I'm out of here. I'm gonna rest, and then I might do some more prep that is not classroom related, and maybe I'll share some of that with you. So I don't know, guys. Talk to you later. Well, hi everyone. It's Monday. I don't know where this clip is going to fall in this whole classroom setup process. I have so many clips of things and gaps of time that have occurred that I'm not quite sure how this is going to be edited together. So if it feels disjointed at some point, my apologies. But it is Monday. I am now at the point where I have about 2 weeks before I have to be back. And in between now and then, I have 2 days where I do have a meeting or a training. So it's like summer's over, which is why I have found that when I wake up now in the morning, I have this sense of like, anxiety would be the best way for me to describe it. And I think it's just because the realization of knowing that I'm at a point where I can't just be as leisurely as I have been since I've been on break, and that I do actually need to be productive to a certain extent. So it is about noon now. I woke up this morning, went to an Orange Theory class at 10, got back a little over an hour or so ago, got dressed. Just came downstairs and realized I don't have any cream cheese for my bagel and egg. So I'm gonna have to take a snack with me to my classroom. So today my goal is to go to my classroom, and sort through the books that I have, the chapter books, because I feel like a lot of them are going to be donated or put to the side. I do know that I need to have some books that are below 8th grade level, but some of the books that I have are like far below where I think they should be, like 3rd grade status. So I'm gonna go through some of those, sort them to see if there's any that I can donate to some friends, and make way for this new bookcase that I bought. So I think the last time I vlogged, I was cleaning the pod area. I ended up going to the classroom the next day, but not really to do any setting up. It was to go in and meet someone, because I sold the IKEA bookcases that I've had in my classroom for years now. I had to really think about that decision because I really like those bookcases. There's nothing wrong with them, but just the realization that I have now tall students and I didn't want them to have to be crouched down on the floor looking for books. So I needed a bookcase that was more tall than it was wide. So I sold those 2 bookcases to finance the purchase of a new bookcase that I'm excited about because it matches better anyway. So today I need to go in there and sort the books, figure out what I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep. I might actually start moving desk around so I can see like what the space is going to look like. My brother's going to come in on Saturday to put furniture together, the desk that I bought, as well as a bookcase that I bought like just for my area. A friend's calling. Hold on one second. Hello?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Okay, that was my friend Rashawn calling. She called because, as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I always tinker with the idea of going into admin, and right now I'm kind of at a place where I'm not 100% sure that being a principal or assistant principal is something that I want to do. But my district does have these positions called academic advisors, and they are people who work at the middle school level to support students that are struggling academically or even socially, or a combination of the two. And so my long range plan in the back of my mind with going to middle school was I was going to go to middle school, teach there for at least a few years, but have my like mindset on looking into being an academic advisor in the future once I got a couple years of middle school experience under my belt. And the academic advisor who works at my current school just got promoted to assistant principal at that same school, which leaves the academic advisor position at the school I am now starting at open. And ultimately, I would have liked to be the academic advisor at the school that I'm now going to be working at. So my friend Rashawn was just calling me to see what I was going to do, because she's just a supportive friend, is like my one of my number one cheerleaders. So as of right now, because I know a lot of you have been following my like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't feel right applying for that position having not taught one day of middle school. I know how teachers are, and I know that middle school teachers can be a little bit more outspoken than say elementary school teachers, and I just don't know that I would be in a position to go in and give advice or directives to a teacher who has a student that's struggling, and I have not taught one day of middle school. And I don't know that I would even feel comfortable doing that. I've never even worked in a middle school environment to understand the schedule, the flow, and all of that. So I was telling her, as of right now, as of today, LaTanya is scheduled to teach 8th grade social studies and language arts, and she's totally happy about that and doesn't plan on changing it. That could change. I don't think that it will, but it's just stressful because this opportunity is opening up at a school that I ultimately wanted to pursue that position at. So, not to mention, I've invested a lot of time, money, and energy into setting up this classroom, and how devastating it would be to just be like, oh, well, you're not going to be in there, so forget that. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting ready to go to my classroom. I just let the dogs out to do a little potty. I'm gonna have to take a snack with me, like I think I said before my phone call came. I'm just gonna bring some cherries and a Belvita breakfast bar that was sent to me in a care package by the glam teacher. If you don't follow her, you should. So I'm gonna get going. I'm probably gonna go to McDonald's, get an iced coffee to keep me going. I only wanna be there for a couple hours. Turns out I cannot move any furniture because we just got an email from the principal saying the carpets have not been shampooed. So we need to keep as much furniture out of the way as possible. But that's it. I'm gonna work in there for a couple hours and then come home and probably work on prepping some things that I need to get prepped. So I'll see you when I get in my classroom. I'm in my classroom. obviously. And I'm off to a rocky start. I went to get my iced coffee from McDonald's. My phone would not connect to the internet, so I couldn't use the app to get credit for my iced coffee so that I can get a free one. That was annoying. And then my phone just froze up. So as of right now, my phone won't turn itself off. It doesn't recognize when I'm pressing the screen. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it just needs a rest. Let's hope that's what the problem is. I can't respond to text messages really. Anything. So I'm gonna let it just take a minute. I am going to be working on, you guys see that? This is one of a few boxes of books that I'm going to be sorting through. Luckily I have my iPad, so I'm going to watch some YouTube videos and just try and forget the events that just happened. So I'm going to find somewhere to sit you down, and then I'm going to get sorting. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys. When I came in to sell my bookcases on Friday, the AP happened to be here, and she was nice enough, along with the lady that bought the bookcases from me, to help me move that extra childcare cabinet out of the pod. So my cabinet is now officially in here, which is great because I needed that space, and we've moved the extra one that they had into their pod. So that's good news for the day. Sorry, my hair is looking crazy, but all right, now time to sort. So, when I'm choosing books to keep and donate, there really isn't a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. I'm definitely tossing books that are just obviously dated, that look like they came from the 1980s or something, or that I know are super primary, like the Ramona Quimby series, the Magic Treehouse series. Those are definitely being donated. The ones that I'm keeping that I think is a good choice on my part is anything that's informational or historical fiction. So all of these, the Who Was series or What Was series, I'm keeping those because I just know kids love them, and I would imagine 8th graders would enjoy them just as much because they get some information in a very non-threatening way. Anything that's historical fiction, anything that's like a classic, like my Harry Potter books, I'm obviously going to keep. I've kept all the Hunger Games series. These books, I have quite a few of them, I think. The I Survived. Anything that I know I don't have a lot of, biographies, autobiographies, those are all the things that I'm choosing to keep. And just based on the bookcase that I bought, I'm not going to be able to fit all these books at once. So I do think there's going to be an element of me rotating books in and out, maybe trying to tie in books that I have that go along with what we're studying at that particular time. My only stress is that I just feel like, I hope that maybe I can convince parents or students to order through Scholastic Books, because I'm going to need to like rebuild my library to some degree. So this is the last book or box that I need to sort through, and then depending on how I feel, I might start moving things into that brown cabinet that I needed to move in there. And since the carpet hasn't been cleaned, I need to get some of the things that I put on the floor onto the linoleum, since we don't know when the carpet's going to be cleaned. And then I might kind of show you just what my mind is thinking as far as the layout of this classroom. So back to book sorting. I think I'm done for the day. This is what I'm left with in terms of books that I'm keeping. These 3 boxes. I think I had 4 boxes before that were all filled, but you can see those are 3 boxes that are not filled. And I think the other thing I forgot to mention about the books I decided to keep is I also kept books where I felt like a certain culture that is typically underrepresented in my classroom library was represented. So even if the book seemed a little old, if it was reflective of a culture that I know I don't have a lot of books about, then I kept them. I just moved all this stuff over there. It was on the carpet over here. I moved that so they can shampoo it. I will probably move, well, not probably, let's go ahead and move these signs right now. We don't know when they're going to be shampooing the carpet, so we're just kind of on watch. It could be any day now that they do that, and that is kind of frustrating because that means I could come in one day and think I have the room to myself, only to find out that I don't. So there's that. Oh my God. And then as far as the books that I'm going to be ridding myself of one way or another, whether it's through donations or dropping them off at Goodwill or whatever the case may be, I ended up with these 3 boxes here. So this box, and that box. And then the other things on this table here are things that I am going to be giving away, with the exception of the pom-poms. Now, I'd answer some of your Instagram questions, but I can't because my phone's still not working, and that's one of the other reasons why I'm getting ready to leave, is because now I need to go to the Apple store looking beat down and busted to figure out how to fix my phone. But in terms of layout, what I envision is this will be where my desk is. The desk that I bought is an L-shaped desk. So in my mind, the desk is gonna go from like here to there. I also have a bookcase to go behind the desk so that I can store like my TEs. And I'm hoping there's a little space in that corner for me to actually store my refrigerator in my classroom, because that would just be nice and convenient. What I would like to do in this area here is, I saw this idea from Jill at Hello Fifth, who I met on Book Bag Tours and has become a friend. But she posted a classroom tour on her blog, and she bought 2 IKEA tables and just turned them into like an L-shaped table for small groups, because one of the things that I don't have in this classroom, if you haven't noticed, is I don't have a kidney table, and those are pretty standard in elementary classrooms. So like a small group area right over here. And then the bookcase that I just bought is going to be somewhere in this area, I think. So for me, well, obviously at my old school, well, yeah, I guess, I don't know. This is the front of the classroom for me. Some people put their desk back here, I've seen, but I prefer to have my desk at the front in case I'm at the board and I need to reference something. I just like to have it at my fingertips. So I am getting ready to leave. I've been here for about 2 hours. So I can't really do anything else, honestly. My furniture needs to be put together. All this stuff is somehow related to furniture being put together or things needing to be hung up. And my brother's coming on Saturday, like I said, and I talked to my dad. He's gonna come on Sunday to help me hang things, because he's, if you think I'm meticulous, I got it from somewhere, and it's my father. And he's very good about hanging things at eye level and making sure they're straight. What I want to do on this back wall, and it's also causing me a little stress, is this is where I want to display student work. So I have to mount what I did in my last class was scrapbook paper across the way, but it all has to be straight, and that is giving me some anxiety, if I were to be honest with you. So I do need to go to Michael's and look at some different scrapbook patterns, or maybe even Hobby Lobby. So what I want to do is just have one section that's designated for like homeroom, which is my main class, I guess would be the best way to describe it, and then my switch class, which is the class that I would then reteach the same lessons to, but is not considered my homeroom. Over here is where I want to put all the you are welcome signs. I think it either says you are welcome or all are welcome, but I want to have them around the door. So that's what I want to do there. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen on this giant wall, but it's a lot of wall space. So those are the thoughts that I have so far as to what's going to happen in this classroom. So I'm going to grab my little teacher appreciation bag that I got from Michael's yesterday, because that's my purse right now, and go to go to Apple to see why this little phone's not working. See how I can type or I can tap it, but anytime I tap something to open it, let me give you a better view. I like my glass case. But anyway, anytime if it focuses, I tap to open something, nothing happens. So I can't open text messages. I can't even like close the screen. I can't power it off. Oh, wait. Something just happened. I felt it. Please, God. I think it was just Siri. Anyway, that's not okay, and I'm going to go get that checked out. I might check in with you guys later. I got to go home and really process how I'm going to edit this vlog and go from there. I don't know, you guys. So I'll talk to you. I just got home from Michael's, and the scrapbook paper, I mean, let's just say I spent a significant amount of my money that I get to start the school year on this scrapbook paper, but I think it's gonna be worth it. This is going to be a slight change in my classroom. So last year, or the last 2 years, my last classroom, I had this writing wall, and the backing for the student work was scrapbooking paper, and it was a mixture of yellow and grays and whites. So I thought, okay, maybe this would be the time for me to kind of change that a little bit because the kids are older, maybe make it feel a little bit more modern. So instead of doing that, plus either way I was gonna have to buy more scrapbooking paper because I only had enough for, I think 30 students at the most, maybe 32 students at the most. And with me having 2 classes of work to display, I needed to buy more scrapbook paper, and it was going to be impossible for me to find the same patterns that I had bought 2 years ago, if that makes sense. So either way, I was gonna have to reinvest. So I decided, since I'm going to, let me bend back down, reinvest, I would make the backings have like gold tones because my classroom is yellow, gray, and white, and there were little splashes of gold, like my lamp near my desk was gold. I had some things on my desk that were gold, and I thought that using gold in this classroom was one way to make it feel more mature for the big kids. So that's what I chose to do. So I bought 6 different sheets, 10 of each. So I've got this striped gold pattern. Then I got just a solid gold pattern. If you're my age, remember that show Solid Gold from back in the day. Then I got a white one. After that is a, let me make sure I'm not skipping any of them. Oh, here's another one. This one is like little tiny dots. I don't know, there it goes. The next one is marble. And then the last one, I believe, is polka dots. So that's what I'm gonna do for the writing wall. That is going to be a project that, like I said, is gonna cause me some stress because you have to get everything on there just right. Sorry, my face is not in the camera. Just right and just so that it looks good. I just got home. My dog Genesis, I'm gonna assume it's Genesis because between the two, Genesis is the troublemaker. Riley is the peacekeeper, the snuggler, the lover, the goody two shoes of the pair. Genesis decided to get a hold of my coffee cup that I left on my, what is that table called? My end table. Tipped that over while I was gone and spilled the little bit that was in my cup on the couch. You would think she would be slowing down as she enters the twilight years of her life, but no. I've convinced that Genesis is the Benjamin Buttons of dogs, and she's just getting more youthful by the day because she just can't be trusted. She's always gonna get into something. So what I'm getting ready to do now, and then I'll probably close out the vlog for today here, is I'm getting ready. Oh, yep, that's wet. Let me, that's where she spilled it, right in the spot that I sit. I'm getting ready to read some of this book for a little bit. Better Than Carrots and Sticks. Again, I'm just trying to be better and sharpen my tool as I get ready for middle school students. So I'm going to be reading a chapter. I'm on chapter 3. I wanted to have this finished by now, but with my trip to Finland and all the stuff that I had to do to prepare, I just kind of got sidetracked with some things. So I'm gonna read that, then walk the dogs, then come home, eat dinner, edit video, do some prep work of some sort, and go to bed. So I think I'm going in my classroom tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure to do what, because I am at the point where I don't really know what else I could do. I can't move the desk. Furniture's gonna be put together, and I can't really hang this wall of scrapbooking paper without someone there telling me if it's straight or not. So I'm not sure if I'll go in my classroom tomorrow, and I'm meeting a friend of mine for lunch tomorrow, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So tomorrow might just be a day of me working from home. I don't know. So, but I am going to end it for the day here, and I guess I'll see you the next time I feel like there's something relevant to a classroom setup occurring. So I'll talk to you then.